So I read this morning that over 1 million people search for how to exit Vim or VI. So I thought we better have a discussion about this, people, because not knowing how to do that is kind of like not knowing how to change a wheel on a car, which is okay. You can drive a car for 20 years and never need to change the wheel. But if you get stuck, you're going to need to know this. So I really think that anyone that's a system administrator or a developer, whoever ever touches anything with Unix, Linux, really should know this. So this video is just very quickly to cover off the basics of what I think you should know as a minimum. Now you could argue I don't need to know this, but I think the advantages is once you've learned what I'm going to tell you in this video, then you know that for the rest of your life. Like with changing the wheel on a car, yes, you could bring up the AA or AAA, whatever they're called, but really, it's not that difficult. It'll only take you a few minutes to learn, and then you know it. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to know is that if you're younger than I am, you may be used to just using WYSIWYG visual editors like Notepad or Word or whatever. Or you might use one of those developer tools. So you may never have to go into one of the older style editors, which has got two modes. These kind of modal editors. So I used to use WordPerfect 5.1 back in the day, and that also has two modes. What that means is that you've got a mode for manipulating the text and a different mode for editing, for typing stuff. So as soon as you realise that, you realise that it's more complex than just using a WYSIWYG editor. And because it's really designed to work without a mouse, there's three different editors we're talking about really here. There's Ed, the original version, VI, the later version, and Vim. VI improved. VI is visual editor, and Ed is just editor. And these things have been around my entire life. The great thing is though, once you've learned one of these tools, that's a life skill. So anytime you sit at any Unix computer from 1969 or whatever it is up to the present day, you'll be able to load up VI or Ed or Vim, probably with the same commands, and just get going. The reason that people get stuck is they just get dumped into Vim by some process that they're doing. Like for example, Contab often sticks people into VI. By the way, I usually refer to it as VI rather than Vim or Ed because I just assume that that's going to be the editor that people are using. When you type VI, often on a lot of Linux boxes, it loads Vim anyway. So yeah, the key thing is that once you've learned how to use one of these tools, it's transferable to pretty much all operating systems other than old version of Windows. I wonder if Vim works in Windows 10 now. Command Vim. What about PowerShell? Because PowerShell's Unix like. PowerShell, yeah. Oh, it takes forever to start PowerShell. Anyway, so yeah, so there's two modes. Yeah, VI doesn't work. Look at that. How are you supposed to cope with your life? So there's two modes. There's the editing mode and the text manipulation mode. And what that means is it means you can much more quickly. This is the advantage. This is why it was designed like this. It's much quicker to manipulate the text. So you can just delete a line or swap lines over or all sorts of stuff, or move the character to a certain. So if you want to move to the letter E on the 15th line of your file, or the first time it says init or something, you can do that really easily by using the text manipulation side of things. So usually to switch modes, to get into the editing mode, you press the I key. Now the problem is it's not consistent across all systems, but pretty much this will work. Press I to go into insert mode, and then escape to go back to the text manipulation mode. Now usually escape is mapped to the escape key. Now, sometimes you can get away with using insert rather than I, and sometimes the escape key is mapped to something else. But you know this, so what you could do is, if you're not sure on the operating system you're working on, you can press exclamation mark man space VI enter, and it should hopefully bring up the manual pages, which will tell you. So have an experiment just switching between the two modes with escape and insert. So if you run up Vim or VI or the command line, then try switching between the two modes. So you should see in the bottom corner it normally says insert when it's insert mode, when it's in edit mode even. So let's go back to the question that you all want answers. How do I write stuff and exit it? So there's three commands that you need to know. So once you're out of the typing mode by pressing the escape key, then to go into commands you press colon. Yeah. So it's shift and then next to the L usually on UK and American keyboards. And then there's three commands. There's :Q, $W, and $X, possibly uppercase X. So they all do slightly different things. So $W will write out the file. If there's a file that you've already got opened, it will just write to that file. If you want to write it to a different file, you can put the name of the file after it. There's :Q, which means quit. Now, many versions of Vim and VI will not let you quit without saving any changes. So if you want to force quit, you can press :Q exclamation mark. Bear in mind it's case sensitive, so lowercase q. You can also write and quit at the same time, so you can put WQ or QW, usually works. And then it shouldn't need the exclamation mark at the end. Exclamation mark means force. And then you've got X, or often uppercase X, and that just exits. Now, that isn't very consistent, so I recommend you don't use that because sometimes it will save and exit, sometimes it won't. But most versions of Unix, capital X will save and exit, and lowercase x will just exit. But it's not always consistent, I found, so I recommend you use :W and then :Q. Really simple. But what happens if you type it and it starts typing on the screen and then you can't delete the text that you've changed? Well, you need to press the escape key, use the cursor keys, or I can't remember, it's IJK, one of those keys on that part of the keyboard anyway, to move around the keyboard if the cursor keys aren't mapped. And then you can use the delete key or the D key to delete the text that you don't want. Then you can press, then you should be able to press colon and, so you have to press escape and then colon to get back to the other mode. Maybe it would be simpler if I actually showed you, but that would involve like clicking on the right links. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about today, I think. So I think that's enough information. So to answer your question, yeah, :Q exits, :WQ will save and quit. But you need to know this. It's just one of the things. Yeah, if you just want an editor for Unix and you just want to get started quickly, you could use Nano or Pico. But to be honest, you might as well learn VI because then it's done. In my opinion, is the amount of time that you'll spend faffing around trying to install Pico or Nano on some random obscure. I was working on HP UX recently. This machine has pure VI on it, and yeah, it's just a pain in the bum because nothing works. So once you've learnt VI or Ed or Vim, you can just transfer that knowledge to any Unix-like operating system. That's it. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your playing with Macs and Unix and Linux, and the best of luck, and hopefully you won't be so frustrated in the future. Thanks for watching.